Students, welcome to online teaching. We are discussing chapter 9, the Industrial Revolution. This is module 4. In third, we discuss about the cotton. Now here, we will discuss one of the important part that helped the industrialization, that improved the industrialization. That was steam power. As you know that plenty of water is available on the earth, and earlier this water that was used only for agricultural purposes or for drinking and for other basic needs. Now here this will help in converting or in running into different machines, means mechanical work will be done by that. The steam engine, it means the hot water that is converted into steam to pull the machines, to pull the railways, or in different engines that were used. So it is very important. Okay. Now what was that? This steam engine improved the industrialization. Earlier we have seen that cotton that was available in plenty, and by the technique of spinning jenny, flying shuttle and mule and other power looms, the production increased a lot and economic condition of Britain also improved. And by these steam power, this work as well as the speed and the economic value will also increase. How it will be that? The first engine was made by Thomas Savery. As you know that in England, coal mines and iron ore mines were maximum, a lot, and to mine them, to dig them, power was required, because if we will dig deep inside, then more minerals will be coming, and for that some power was required. Engines were required, some steam power were required, steam engines were required that will help in digging, that will help in mining the coal and iron. Okay. Now that was Thomas Savery, called as French engine. Okay. Now it was made as the steam that will convert into mechanical energy, into electrical energy to run the engines. What it has a drawback. What was that? If it was put deep inside, then due to excessive pressure, overload, it burst or it does not work. So this Thomas Savery engine that was not so much successful, because or overburden, when it was overburdened, then it was destroyed, it was damaged. Okay, nothing was there. Second was that was by Thomas Newcomen. That was one of the important. Okay, it was also made, but it has a drawback. It was also that when it was put inside the, you may say, water or inside the mine, the water condenses and it blocks, because in this what was that, the pressure as well heat was required to run the steam engine. And this Thomas Newcomen model that was not able to work properly, because gradually or by, you may say, accidents or by any of the mishappenings, the water condenses, the water cools, and this engine blocks. So that was also not successful. Third was made by James Watt. It changed something. It changed something, because steam engine were used first time in mines, in mining industry, that was coal and iron ore, and this engine changed that you may say change the speed as well more and more mining was done. They had some drawbacks because good technology was not available. But as the time progressed, new innovations were made and that were very successful. James Watt engine, that was very important and it was a successful. It was a successful, okay, as compared to previous ones. And what was that? Due to this innovation, they were producing more and more energy. And James Watt engine was one of the best throughout the Europe. England's steam engine were considered best and they were producing more energy as compared to other countries. This was also an important part in the industrialization because these machines that will change, that will innovate the industrialization and it will help in improving the agriculture. When these engines come, then the railways, because they will run, because transportation was available, but that transportation was you may say very difficult because it may be costly and heavy goods, bulky goods were not to be taken by these routes. Okay. Now next thing we will be discussing the railways and canals. The railways and the canals. The next thing that we will be discussing, the railways and canals. As you know that in England, good connectivity of water was there, navigation was possible, and excessive you may say minerals or excessive amount of coal was found, and these canals were made. These canals were made to take coal to different parts of the country. Different parts of the country. Especially Manchester, where the industrialization was there. How it was possible? The canals. Because if it was taken by the routes, a time consuming process and very difficult also and very expensive also. So to avoid this, canals were made and these canals changed the circumstances. Due to this appropriate supply of coal, the rates down, the rates become low. Earlier they were expensive, they were high because the availability or you may say richness that was not possible. Availability was not possible, but by the use of canals the situation changes. And who was the person that was one of the important thing that changed? Okay, now what was that? These canals, they played an important role. Okay, now after that what was that? The railways. The railways, that was very important. Okay, and even these railways, they were also related to canals. There were some drawbacks in canals. How the drawbacks were there? During the flood, during the heavy rain, navigation was not possible. So the Britishers were searching for options and railways was one of the important because steam engine were discovered and these alternates open the ways for best industrialization. Okay, now what was that? Railways. The first engine that was, first locomotive was Stephenson's rocket. Okay, it was used to take people from one place to another and to take the goods also. Earlier the speed was very less, 4 miles per hour, 6 miles per hour. But that was a big step that opened the ways for the best railway system. Nowadays even bullet trains are also available, metro rails are available and different categories of railways are available. So this Stephenson rocket locomotives opened the ways for the coming journey of the railways. Okay, now What this opened the ways and the passengers as well as the goods that were sent very easily. Okay. Another was Richard. Richard invented puffing devil. That was also used for taking the goods as well as the people from one place to another. Okay. With puffing devil, it means a lot of smoke that was emitting. So that was known as puffing devil. Because it was seen as first time because a lot of smoke and that was blackish everywhere. So that was considered as puffing devil. Okay. Now next is another George Stephenson. George Stephenson invented the Blitzer engine. The Blitzer engine. Okay. Stephenson was a railway engineer and he invented this, and it was used for coming time even. Earlier the speed was 4 miles per hour. Okay. And as the modified form, because steam engine that were also converted, that were also modified, so best speed came, that was nearly 25 miles. 25 miles per hour increase. Okay. Now the first railway started in 1825. The first railway started in 1825 in England. Okay. And due to this invention of railway, or you may say because railway tracks that were made of wood, of the wood, but as the innovations come, they were converted into iron metal form, and after that the speed as well as taking the goods that also increased, and canals and railways that helped the industrialization in England. You may say after 1800, or you may say up to 1850s, maximum production as well as the increase in the speed of railways and the heavy goods that were taken, and even the speed that was 4 miles, 5 miles, now it increased to 20 to 25 miles, and best railways as well as best alternate were available, and it improved. There was no competition of England with other European countries. That was at its peak due to the invention of the railways, because the passengers, the people as well as the goods, and due to this the rates of the goods that came down, because in some of the areas the goods were not able to be sent, that were sent by the railways. So it was one of the best achievement of the England in means of railway.